Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor. It's currently Sunday. It is April 6, 2025, and crypto is, I should say, sinking like a ship. Now, if you've been paying attention here at the channel, hopefully this move isn't surprising you whatsoever. I've had a very bearish posture on the market for the past few months, and here things are playing out and we're approaching the levels that I have been waiting for and outlining here on the channel for a long time. We are getting very, very close. It is time to pay full attention. It's time to lock in. It is not at all the time to be depressed with your head down, hanging in shame or anything like that, not ready to capitalize on any opportunities coming up, because guess what? They're here. They're coming up right now. So it's time to fully pay attention. Anyways, lads, smash up the like button. Hope you're all having a great weekend and great day. And let's get into this live stream like we always do with our crypto market overview. Now, looking at the market currently, Bitcoin is trading below $79,000. Again, zero surprise. We know what level we're waiting for. We should already know that, especially if you've been watching the channel. It's 72,000. But regardless, we're at 78,984 right now. Ethereum is below 1,600. Solana is about to break 100. It's at $107. XRP broke $2. Doge is at 15 cents. I'm going to show you Doge. I have a plan with that one. Anyways, looking at the crypto bubbles top 100, we do have a sea of red. Everything is dropping at the current moment in time in tandem with one another, in tandem with Bitcoin. It's all playing out right now. Again, time to pay full attention and not at all the time to hang your head down, paralyzed by fear or anything like that. All right, so if you have this kind of bad attitude right now, get it out of here. We don't want any of that. Now let's go into the market. So one thing to note right now, Bitcoin is dropping. Altcoins are dropping. ETH BTC is dropping. As you can see, it actually just hit this level here. This is the last relevant level going back to 2019. I am expecting this to end up being the bottom. But anyways, back to Bitcoin dominance here. We're spiking up with everything else going down. It does look like the triple drive that I have here outlined that I've been planning for. This possible scenario is actually happening. Okay, so we have the triple drive. We have one top. We have two tops. We're looking for the third top now. And of course, we want to line that up with our RSI. And as you can see here on the daily, it's just spiking. But on the weekly, it does appear like we will have a essential lower high. Anyways, triple drive in progress here. I'm looking for 66% Bitcoin dominance. And that is my important level I am watching. Look for a spike up to there this week. All right. And again, we want to go through all the major charts right now and find the most important levels that we're waiting for, because they're all sitting there waiting to get hit. And then I do expect a very bullish reversal to follow. So 66% on Bitcoin dominance. It looks like it's going to happen this week. Moving on, let's look at Tether dominance, USDT dominance. Another one spiking up. Should be zero surprise. Now, the inverse correlation, this goes up, risk assets go down, crypto, altcoins, they go down. Not surprised. We have another essential triple drive in progress here, albeit this one not necessarily as clean, a lot of time in between, but still, we're looking for the move up here above 6% Tether dominance. This level I have is from 6.06% to 6.18%. Okay? Look for a move into that. Good chance. Good chance. If we see a spike up into that and it ends up as a wick, that's going to mark a bottom. And remember, on March 11th, when this spiked up here to 5.85%, look at any altcoin. Some of them have already retraced fully, but they all bottomed out on March 11th when USDT dominance spiked up. So this is, again, I've said it many times, this is like the most important chart to pay attention to, even more important than Bitcoin. And we want to use all of them in tandem for confluence. And we're looking for this to spike up here to 6.1%. It looks like it's going to happen. All right, so get ready for that. Again, March 11th, this spiked up. Altcoins, Bitcoin spiked down. That marked a local bottom. This is a very, very powerful chart to catch these market swings and reversals coming into play. Get ready for it. USDC dominance, not as important as USDT dominance, but it's coming into my level, as you can see, from around 2.5% to 2.67%. All right, so those majors, the inverse correlation ones, spiking up, prices spiking down. We're in business, folks. We are in business. Again, time to pay full attention. Bottom is approaching. Do not miss it, as the title does say. Let's move on now to the total crypto market cap. Okay, so remember, March 11th, that's when USDT dominance spiked up. Total market cap spikes down. We come all the way back up to our downtrend. We test the downtrend, as you can see, and we were rejected from that downtrend. And now we are going, we haven't closed below this low from March 11th, but our next level, it's right here at 2.38 trillion to 2.33 trillion. All right, we're looking for this, again, for further confluence to mark some kind of bottom, to mark the bottom. So yeah, this is approaching. We see Bitcoin down into the 70s. We haven't even looked at Bitcoin yet. We'll do that just next. But we see, again, Bitcoin at its key level at 72,000. We see this at around 2.38 trillion. We see USDT dominance at 6.1%. All these things are giving us confidence that we're likely to see a really bullish reversal to follow here. And here is the total too. Again, all these levels I've shared in like the live streams, every single live stream for the past few weeks. So hopefully you already have these marked on your charts. For anyone new here to Crypto Empire, this is how I like to do my analysis. So I'm going to keep on going over it. But anyways, everything we've been planning out, it's all coming into play right now. It's all happening. Total to your altcoin market cap, I'm looking for 860 billion. Again, I've shared this level so many times. That's the key. As you can see here, I put the key emoji on the chart for a reason. That's the key liquidity. 860 billion, in my opinion. It is approaching. It's getting there. We already lost the lows from the 11th of March at 925 billion, and we are approaching the next level lower. And I put a big yellow circle, so it's impossible to miss. Literally impossible to miss. All right, so we went over the important majors. Let's go look at Bitcoin now, another important major chart. And on Bitcoin, as you can see, again, similar to the total market cap chart, March 11th found the bottom down here at 76,500. We bounced back up to test our downtrend. We are rejected. Now we're heading back lower. Again, this bottom, it was formed in no man's land. Look to the left. Yeah, there's a bit of a demand zone here, right? Price consolidated a bit. But it's not key. It is not key liquidity. It is air. It is no man's land. It is like, again, that house built on a sand foundation instead of rock. It's not going to hold. That's why we're looking for lower. That's why we're looking for 72,000. That is the start of the level. It does go down to around 70, and there's a lot of important stuff into the high 60s as well. I'm not sure how exactly it's going to end up shaping up. I don't know if how low it will essentially go, right? Maybe it goes into the mid 60,000s on a long liquidation wick down. It's definitely possible. But the key level, right? If we end up spiking down and we have a higher time frame close above 72, that is serious confirmation that the worst is actually now behind us, and it is time to shift from a mindset of a bearish risk-off market to a risk-on bullish market. We are right at the pinnacle of things right now, and again, it's time to lock in. All right, so we're really close. As you can see, I'm not expecting these levels, these lows to hold here on Bitcoin. The bottom was again at 76,500. The candle's daily closure was at 78,500. I'm not expecting 76 to 78 to hold personally. All right, it could provide a short-term, 1 hour time frame bounce, but I'm expecting price to find its way to this liquidity, which is going to act like a magnet. And we're going to be monitoring the price action there because, again, more likely than not, that's the level we have planned for months now to act as a bullish reversal level, and it's all coming into play right now. It's all happening. So anyways, there is Bitcoin total 2, Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, and USDC dominance. Now that we have a good grasp on where we are currently at and what we're expecting, let's go ahead and see what's going on in our live chat today and see how everyone is doing, guys. Smash up that like button. Hope you're all doing amazing. Big shout out to Glasshopper77. He says discounts galore indeed. Good to see you, Glasshopper. We also got Dre with an awesome quote. He said, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Yes, indeed. Very relevant to the current world that we live in, and we are for sure in that transition from good times to hard times on a global scale, society in general, but that's a topic for another day. Shout out to DD, shout out to Fiat Hater, shout out to Elvis, and shout out to Haroon. He says ETH reaching to home tomorrow. And we haven't even looked at Ethereum. So let's go look at ETH right now and my plans for Ethereum. All right, so for ETH, 2 levels marked on the chart very clearly for everyone. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Here we are on Ethereum, currently trading at $1,595. All right, we are at the lows from October of 2023, which was really like the start of the mega pump of this kind of cycle, this bull market. Ethereum did not make new all-time highs. It went to 4K. You know, it broke the bullish trend line over here in February when Trump when Javier Milei of Argentina launched his coin. That's when Ethereum broke the bull market trend. Okay, so this is a sinking ship again, but we are approaching 1,500, which is the first important level outlined. Doesn't quite look like that this is going to end up being the bottom for Ethereum. It does look like it is probably going to hit our $1,300 to $1,200 level, which is around 18% to about 25% lower than current price. Reason I say that, just some basic percentage analysis for everyone. If we're expecting Bitcoin to go to 72,000, what's the percentage from current market price to that level? It's around a 7-8% drop to 72,000 from the current price at around 78,800. Okay, around 8 to 10% to 72 to 70,000 on ETH. Right, if we're expecting Bitcoin to drop minimum 8%, well, ETH probably is going to drop more than 4.6%. It's kind of just like basic common sense, especially when it comes to crypto knowledge, right? Bitcoin drops and altcoins drop harder, further, more percentage losses. Bitcoin pumps, altcoins pump harder, more percentage gains. They're higher risk beta assets. Ethereum is just that. So I doubt if Bitcoin drops 8% that ETH is only going to drop 4%. More likely than not, I would expect like double Bitcoin's drop. And lo and behold, you know, 18% away is 1,300. 25% away is around 1,200. This is where I'm looking for ETH. All right, I'm looking at around $1,200 to $1,300 to mark its bottom. So just like our guy Haroon said, ETH heading home tomorrow. Yeah, we can call this home. We'll call it home right here in the live stream by putting home here in this level of demand. This is what we're looking for on Ethereum. It's getting super close. And now, how do you play this? Down here at this level, especially if you're a spot buyer, I think it's pretty smart to just set limit orders down here in these prices. Reason I say a spot buyer is because there is the risk of some kind of crazy liquidation wick happening where it goes way lower and you would get potentially stopped out or liquidated if you're using leverage and not managing your risk and position size. So spot buyers, limit orders, I think that's a good idea in general. Obviously using, you know, basic risk management principles. But if you want to trade this more aggressively, I think it's smarter to be at your desk and ready to hop in, monitoring everything with market orders if you're going to put on, you know, positions, big positions with leverage. At least that's how I like to do it. Market orders are perfectly fine. So anyways, these are the levels to watch out for. That's my plan. We'll see if it does get hit, and I fully expect it to get hit personally. $1,300 for Ethereum. We'll see what happens at $1,500. It's you know, $92 away from that price now. It's coming. It's coming. Anyways, what else is going on here in the chat? Shout out to Eamon. He says, hi, folks. Stay strong. Yes, sir. We also got the Silva Dollar says, turn pain into opportunity. Good point there, Silva Dollar. Pluto is Frosty says that Trump is the biggest market maker. It's pretty funny what's happening with the Trump family. So here's a funny tweet here from Block News. So over here, it was actually the 3rd of February. Eric Trump tweeted out, in my opinion, it's a great time to add ETH. He said, you can thank me later. February 3rd. There he is. Good old Eric. Well, the Ethereum price has dropped by 46% now. 46% from the time he said it was a great time to buy. The Trumps, guess what, guys? I know a lot of people. I was live on election day, November 4th, 2024. If you've been watching the channel, you probably remember that. But I said then and there that, like, you know, Trump is funny. He's charismatic. He's a good actor. But I don't trust him. And this is why. Okay, he's not to be don't let his personality fool you. Is kind of a good way to put it. But anyways, yeah, they are for sure, obviously, like any other billionaire, all the other elites, they want to continue to grow their wealth and get richer. They understand that there's only so much of the pie to go around. This is how all the billionaires think. They don't want the common peons like you and I to get super mega rich and end up competing with them at the top. They want to keep people in their place. They want to keep a class system. How do they do that? They continue to extract more and more wealth. And look at Eric Trump. Great example recently. He will lie through his teeth to get his agenda through, just like his daddy. But anyways, we'll keep politics out of it. But don't listen to the Trumps for crypto advice. That goes without saying. Also, Trump ran the biggest marketing campaign ever to get elected. Why did he do this? And then the whole market went to shit after he got elected. To buy votes, to get people to vote for him. And then guess what? After you get in, after you win, you don't need those votes anymore, so you can do this. This was all very well planned ahead, this entire crypto price action, okay? That election and Trump win was a major whale trap. Anyways, common sense stuff. We can talk about this for a full hour, but we have a lot of other things to talk about today, so let's go ahead and move on. Shout out to Rigoberto. What's going on, Rigoberto? Guys, smash up that like button. And let's see. Fiat Hater says, opportunities come in frequently. When it rains gold, put out the bucket, not the thimble. Warren Buffett. Indeed. Another quote that's relevant today from our guy, one of the Rothschilds. What did he say? He said, buy when there's blood in the street, even when the blood is your own. Meaning that if you're losing money in the market and everything's going down, even if you're losing money, you got to buy the blood, okay? That time to buy the blood, it's very, very close. And again, Ethereum is coming home, Bitcoin coming home too, and we know the levels we want. And my plans are set. Okay, we're looking to buy where there's blood in the streets, even if it is our own. Some good quotes here in the live chat today, guys. Appreciate you all being here. Shout out to Ian. He says, hey, everyone. Thanks for the critical live stream. Connor, no worries. Good to see you, Ian. We got John Valentine. What's up, John? And Amsterdam says, hey, Connor, buy the dip. That time is coming very soon. It could happen tonight. Could happen tomorrow morning. Probably this week. Wouldn't be surprised if it's tonight. But, yeah, it's coming very soon. Sam Fox says, we're going to see when the stock market opens. So if we go look at the NQ, futures open at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Okay. And the NASDAQ futures opened and they gapped down, and price gapped down from the close on Friday. As you can see, price has gapped down 4.8%, basically 5%. Okay, so the futures have opened up with a gap lower, down 5% from Friday's close. So we'll see what happens at the market open at 9:30. But the futures market has already opened up 5% lower than where price closed on Friday. So yeah, the whole Black Monday talk, it does look somewhat valid now, but we'll see how things do shape up. for the time being. My focus is on crypto. A lot of people saying crypto is decoupled from the stock market, and I thought that was a very naive thing to say, and it looks like it's not decoupling from anything. But yeah, U.S. futures, NASDAQ opened up 5% lower than where it closed on Friday already. We got Jeff saying, Tau it up, son. So that looks like a cue to go over Tau right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering what the plan is with Tau. And of course, there is a plan. So let's go over the plan. All right, so here's BitTensor Tau on the weekly time frame. Pretty interesting what's going on here. Okay, we have the M pattern, the McDonald's Golden Arches double top. Now we're back down at our base support level. We are back down at our base support level, just below 200 bucks. Now the bottom on August 5th, it was at 160. There is a level lower. All right, there's 140 to around 130. This is the main level of interest, in my opinion, currently around 22% to around 27% lower than the current market price. And again, just going back to Bitcoin at 78,500. The measured move to 72,000 is 8%. So we would expect altcoins to drop, more likely than not, double or over double that percentage amount. So here we have Tau. It will be around a 22% move to this 140 level, $142 level. That matches up pretty well with that percentage analysis on Bitcoin going down 8%. Tau down 22%. That lines up to me. Seems valid. I also know that's an important demand zone. So yeah, that's the plan with Tau. We'll see the reaction at 160. I don't necessarily expect 160 to hold, just like I wasn't expecting 220 to hold. And I made that very clear here on the channel that it got hit many, many times. And the more times the support level gets hit, the weaker it does get. And typically, eventually, it will get broken through. All right, that happened. It broke right through 220. Here we are at 185. Not expecting these lows to hold either at 160. We're looking for 140 to 130 with the possibility of wicking even as low as the high on this exchange on MEXC, which is at $119. All right, this is the buy zone. This is the value area for Tau. In a broad area, think of this $20 gap between $140 and $120. Going back to how we started the stream, going over the majors, if we have confluence with the majors and the levels I talked about at the start of the stream, with Bitcoin at the level I've been talking about, if all these things line up and you see Tau in the level we just talked about, that is further confluence that it's a bottom and we want to be buying, okay? Time to pay full attention again. Not the time to cower in fear. It's time to get ready to put risk on again in the crypto market. It's always darkest before dawn. It always feels like when it's time to buy that you're going to lose everything. And these are all signs that it's actually an amazing time to be a buyer of crypto. Understand, the entire market, Tau, Bitcoin, Ethereum, SUI, whatever coin you're looking at, everything, the market is a conglomerate of human emotion, of fear and greed. FOMO and fear of losing it all is what drives the prices of this market. So just like at the top, when Tau's trading at $600 or $700, and you're like, oh my God, this thing's about to go to 10 grand a coin. I have to buy now. You have this insane sense of FOMO. That's a great signal that it's a top. Right now, you have this insane sense of fear. Oh my God, if I buy it now, I'm going to lose it all. This is a horrible spot to buy. It's about to drop. All these fearful things. Great signal that it's a great time to buy, right? Most people have zero emotional control and zero emotional awareness to even identify how they feel. And that's why they end up getting wrecked most of the time, all right? And even still, right, let's say you buy Tau now at 185 and it drops to 140, another 20%, but then it ends up going back up to 700. That buy at 180 is not that bad, all right? In general, though, I still expect it to go lower, but that's just kind of an example of buying during times of crazy fear. Even if price ends up with one move lower, then forms a bottom, it's still in the long run going to end up being a great buy, because you're not buying high, you're buying low in times of extreme fear, which is like right now. But yeah, those are the levels to look for Tau, and some basic crypto psychology that I'm sure everyone needs to hear. Even if you've already heard it 100 times already, it's always good to get it repeated, because it is the truth. It is the truth. What else is going on here? Showmaker, he says, I am done this market. Showmaker, again, that pouty like attitude of, oh, poor me, woe is me. That ain't what winners do, man. That ain't what winners do. So, and definitely not the mindset to have currently. I would turn the frown upside down and lock in. Anyway, Ringo37, he says, let's go Crypto Empire, get this market back on track after hitting 72K. That's the plan, Ringo. Good to see you. We also got Green Chili Pepper in the building today. What's going on, Green Chili? He says, happy Sunday, let's roll. Yes, sir. Good to see you. PG says, Trump might ruin the bull run. Hopefully he stops this before it gets too late. Listen, Trump is not ruining the bull run. Trump is not ruining anything. Trump is just following the plan set out by the wealthiest people in the world that run this show. And everything is just kind of moving along. I wouldn't be fearful of a bull run getting ruined. We had a bull market from 2023 to January 2025. And, we're expecting a bullish reversal here soon. So there's plenty of opportunity, and the show will go on. There will be more opportunities with AI in the future. Like, crypto isn't going to cease to exist tomorrow. It's going to go on for years. So everyone with the mentality of, I need to get rich now, I need to get rich this cycle, this gambler mentality, this all or nothing, FOMO of getting rich, it likely will lead you to destruction. If you think in terms of a broader time frame and longer multiple cycles of getting rich, you'll likely actually get there in the end. But the gambler mentality of, I need to get rich today, this cycle, or I'm a failure, it's what gets a lot of people destroyed in crypto, because they take way too much risk and they end up going in way too big for their bridges and they get burnt. Let's see. T20 says, Tau versus Ondo versus Render. Which one is better to buy right now? Well, I went over the plan with Tau. Okay. Ondo also, I don't plan on trading this, but I do have my... This is old. Let's see. Go back to our active trade watch list. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Ondo 165. Even though it's only around 10%. I haven't made plans for Ondo, so I'm going to say Tau, because I have a plan already set in place for Tau. And which one is better to buy? The one that you have a plan on, that you're ready to execute. Instead of acting in the moment out of emotion, you should already have your plans in place, ready to pull the trigger. And I have that set with Tau, so... That's my answer to that question. Big shout out to Adrian Kent, my man. And a lot of people here in the chat today. Love seeing everyone here. Appreciate you guys. And let's look at Solana. Somebody says I say the bottom is in all my videos, when for the past like 3 months, at this point I've been saying like Bitcoin's going to 72. Like, bro, are you like missing brain cells or what? But anyways, we always get troll comments like that, so it's nothing new. But yeah, literally when I've been saying it's going to go lower for months, and then somebody says something like that, it just makes zero sense. I lose brain cells when I read those stupid comments. It's tough. But I guess that's the contradiction of putting myself in the public eye like I do. Anyways, for Solana here, we are approaching levels of interest. And sub $100 at this point is very, very likely. We are about 15% from the level at $89. All right. So this one or this one, I'd say. Now, the problem with this lower level, it's 26% to 34% lower, which could very well happen. Because Solana, of course, it's even more of a beta asset to Bitcoin than Ethereum. Yes, it performed really well to the upside, but you guys have to understand, like if you look at the options market in crypto and the risk curve for Bitcoin, for example, the risk is so extreme in both directions because the smart money knows that it can go to extremes in both directions. Okay, so Solana, yes, it did a 20x from the bottom or whatever, but guess what? It can also reflect hard the other way too. Anyways, so this 20%, 25% drop to our lower level around $80 isn't that far-fetched. However, I would be monitoring price action around 90 first for Solana. But yeah, it's getting close. And it would also be another triple drive. Right? We have 1, we have 2, and it would be 3. So that is Solana for anyone wondering what the key levels are. Again, going off of just basic percentage analysis, yeah, maybe 15% will be everything to around $90, but sub 80, around 25% lower wouldn't shock me either. Again, we want to use Confluence with all the majors that we've already discussed and see how it lines up. Total 2 is sinking like a ship hard. Getting mighty close. It's only $40 billion away now from 860. So it might even happen while we're on the live stream today. We'll see. But it's all happening in real time. Again, for total 2, we're just looking for this. 860 billion total. We're looking for here around 2.38 trillion. And it's happening. Let's see. Shout out to Adrian Kent with the 2 thumbs up. John Valentine, Pump Swap will be the biggest play this year. Pump Fund DEX governance token. It totally depends on how the token was distributed. Are VCs involved? Right? What were the terms of any sales, any pre-sales, seed rounds, whatever? All that stuff will determine the performance of that token. Because if it was structured in a way to only allow insiders to get rich, it won't be the biggest thing this year. But I haven't looked into it. Let's see. Which layer ones are you focusing to pick up on these lows? So, I mean, look, when it comes to layer ones, I've already went over Ethereum. I've went over Solana. I've went over Tau. In terms of what I want to trade Tau. I track that market more than most other coins. Somebody says we're going to crash. We've been crashing. Make no mistake. And yeah, it's happening here. Let's go to the lower time frames here in the 15-minute here on Bitcoin. And after consolidating for a few hours, we have broken support and we are headed lower now. All right, so again, this is going to happen like super quick, right? When these flash wicks happen, some things we want to look for would be exchanges freezing exchanges like stopping deposits and withdrawals, things like that. So we want to be active on crypto Twitter because we'll be able to catch that news instantly when it happens, right? If we see a spike down in price and we see news that exchanges are freezing and things like this, these are great signs. All those things, it's not because the exchange actually like kind of freezes. It's to make people scared and all this fear and all these things. They want people to literally exit at the exact bottom. So that's actually an amazing sign to do the opposite, right? So if we see a spike down and exchanges freeze and things like that and a bunch of fear headlines when price is in key liquidity, these are all amazing things to add further confluence to put risk on. So we'll see how it shapes up, but we are getting very, very close now to our key liquidity level on Bitcoin down here at 72,000 bucks. Let's see. Cyrus says, down only since Trump elected, damn. Yes. Yes, down only since Trump no longer had to buy votes by talking about crypto. That's a better way to put it. And Fred Smith says it goes to 70K, it's over. That's just such a black and white statement. And I mean, I disagree. The plan, again, like for months has been to see Bitcoin go down to 70K because that is the most optimal bullish reversal level on the charts. So I think it would actually not be over if we see that. I think it would be actually something I've been waiting for a while to actually then go ahead and flip bullish. So I don't agree with you, Fred, but that's my reasoning for not agreeing with you. Anyway, Armzilla says, look at FAT on Deck Screener. Well, I didn't plan on looking at any random meme coins, but I mean, I guess we'll look at FAT. Interesting name. Yeah, really tough to be a buyer of a coin like this. Pump Fun coin. Daily time frame. Like, these are the things I immediately look at. Armzilla, I'm not sure like what your take on this is, right? If you plan on buying this or what. But my immediate thoughts, I look at it, and for 11 days, it was at its bottom at a very, very low market cap. Literally like 100,000. It spent 11 days at 100,000 market cap. It's now at 15 million. Okay, that's 150x from a price point it spent 11 days at. Or so. So, yeah, I don't, like, if you buy now, there's a very strong chance you will be exit liquidity. Straight up. So, I mean, I don't think it's a wise thing to do to buy this at all. Especially 1, 2, 3. Coming and testing trend now. It's not something I would want to buy. I think unless I have a very specific plan to allocate capital into something, it's better to stay liquid. Having liquidity gives you power and freedom, right? Being liquid. It's a common thing. Let's get off this page, by the way. Like the name of this coin. It's ridiculous. But it's a common thing for the average investor, right? The average person with like average financial knowledge. They have a really hard time selling, and they find it really easy to be long all the time on everything in their life, right? Most people are what's called triple long. They work a job at a big company, corporation, okay? So they're reliant on that as their only source of income. So they're long on their job. Usually, if it's their career, they'll get equity at that company. They'll be able to buy stock of that company they work for at a discounted rate on like a weekly or monthly basis or whatever. So they'll work a career for 20 years at one job, and they'll buy stock of that company for 20 years. So they're double long there on the job and the company stock. And then they also live in the same house, and they don't sell their house. So they own the house, and they're long on that house too, right? People come into crypto, and they only buy things because they want to get rich super quickly. They don't have a plan to sell anything, so they're long only on crypto. The average normal person is just long everything. All right, so don't be average. And yeah, like I was saying before anyway, liquidity is king. Liquidity is freedom. So unless you have a plan in place, it's better to stay liquid. And yeah, a coin like this, I don't think it would be better to put liquidity into something like this than just have the liquidity on hand. Anyways, Keyboard Cat here gave up not all gains, but most gains. It's still up 2x from the bottom on March 11th. And we'll see how it does shape up. With the most important thing is Bitcoin going down to $72,000. Let's actually go over that and why that's the most important thing right now. I've gone over it many times already, the fact that this low was formed in no man's land with no fuel. All right. But all the other charts, they hit their key liquidity levels on March 11th when Bitcoin didn't, right? Total hit, total 2 hit here. The only thing we've been waiting on here is Bitcoin itself. So the most important thing right now is Bitcoin itself actually hitting this key level we've been waiting for months. All these altcoins, they come second. They come second to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is down here, all right, wherever Keyboard Cat is at, maybe it's here at the bottom of the green zone at 16. If it's down here in this yellow zone again, and Bitcoin's at 72, like, you have to put on risk, in my opinion. At least that's how I think. But again, the most important thing is actually Bitcoin finally getting to that point of its key level on the chart, where all the other majors hit it a month ago on March 11th, but Bitcoin is the only one that did not. Anyways, talking about meme coins and all this stuff. So recently, Conor McGregor, this was yesterday actually, he launched a pre-sale for a token called the Get Real token. And this was pretty interesting. So this guy, Beanie, he said, in his CoffeeZilla interview a couple months ago, Hayden Davis mentioned that he was working with Conor McGregor on a token. If anybody doesn't remember, this guy, Hayden, was the guy behind the rug pulls of the Trump coin, the Melania coin, and the Libra coin, the president of Argentina. He was the entity responsible for all those rug pulls, and he said he was working with Conor McGregor. So he launched the pre-sale yesterday, and it does appear that they were trying to raise $3.6 million and ended up raising $304,000. And now I believe that the entire sale raise has been canceled and called off. All right, so the rug pulls are still going on. And I saw this yesterday and I was like, okay, I guess we have to crash lower. Like, this is a sign that we're actually going to go lower and finally hit 72 on Bitcoin. And a day later now, it's happening. So as long as these people continue to exist, these celebrities that don't give the slightest damn about crypto, as long as they continue to exist and people still continue to send money to their pre-sales or buy their meme token, as long as people keep on doing this, like this entire industry can't move forward. Why is that? Well, it's because when you give your crypto to somebody like McGregor or Trump with the Trump coin, or Hayden Davies, or sorry, I was going to say Javier Milei of Argentina, you're actually giving your crypto to a firm like Kelsier Ventures, who Hayden Davies was the CEO of. And all they do, they're a net seller of crypto. They take your crypto and they sell it for fiat money, and it exits the market. It's very negative overall for the actual crypto industry. I actually believe in crypto technology, right? Like the Bitcoin network, the Ethereum network, it's a very, very real living network. But when the extractors come along and all they do is launch scam coins and they're net sellers of crypto, nothing can move forward. So anyways, when McGregor launched this, I was like, damn, I guess we do have to go lower. And here we are a day later going lower. And here's the result, or the reality, of 99.999% of meme coins. This is a tweet from Mitch, and this is just a video essentially of all of the popular meme coin tokens from the past like 6 months to a year. They all went up hundreds of X's or whatever, and now they're all down 99.9%. All of them. This is like a 40-minute or 40-second video of like 20 different coins that all went up astronomically. They're all meme coins, and they all crashed to nothing. All right, so when you support someone like McGregor launching his token, or you support someone like Trump or Javier Milei launching the Libra coin, this is what happens. And again, that crypto actually exits the system because these scammers are just sellers of crypto into fiat money so that they can go buy their Lambos and their Dubai apartments and then flex on Instagram and YouTube to continue to attract more gullible newbies to think that they're credible sources of information in the crypto market or whatever, who want to live that lifestyle, who think if they listen to this person with the Lamborghini who lives in the nice place that, oh, I'll be able to get that too, but they just get led to the slaughterhouse. So hopefully you guys are aware of this. Most new people to crypto are not. I actually have a video coming out on this subject soon. But yeah, that's what happens, right? You buy a scam meme token, guess what? It goes to someone like Kelsey or Ventures, and they're net sellers. Also, one more piece of news. So all this bearish market, it's being blamed on the Trump tariffs. And just as of today, this is Watcher Guru. So India wants to negotiate and balance a new trade deal to avoid the Trump tariffs. Vietnam, they want to remove all tariffs on U.S. imports to avoid the Trump tariffs. Taiwan wants to avoid the Trump tariffs. Israel wants to negotiate a new tariff deal. Zimbabwe wants to negotiate with Trump. So all of this activity, it's being blamed on the tariffs. And there's a lot of interesting stuff happening where all these countries are now coming forward and they're like, Trump, we want to play ball. We want to play ball and we want to negotiate this tariff deal. So people will blame the tariffs on the market crash, but really the market is essentially doing what it's designed to do, and the whales and the people that control things, the puppet masters, if you will, they're aligning it really well to use these tariffs events to send these prices to their key liquidity levels. That's all it is. The market moves on emotions and it goes from liquidity to liquidity. So yeah, liquidity is down here at 72,000 on Bitcoin. Cyber Hype says, buying into the teeth of this monster? Bad idea. We are headed lower. So, again, no. When you've had something like planned out like this and it's all happening, even if you end up being wrong, as long as you don't gamble your entire net worth, you'll be able to survive from it. And the thing is, when you have something planned for a long time and when you really think something through, there's a good chance, a good probability that you'll be right. And if you're right, you obviously make a lot of money. So yes, I will be buying if my plan does actually execute here in the short term, which I think it will. And Bitcoin continues to sink lower and lower, guys. We are now at $77,780. We are making low after low. Why are we making low after low? Because again, there is nothing here. There is nothing here. It's thin air until the liquidity, all of this. All right, so in the meantime, there's nothing. This is all no man's land. Right? Price action will cut through it like a hot knife through butter. Where is there something? Well, there's something lower, and that something is down here. Rigoberto, I've never heard of Buddy. No, I haven't. Shout out to Coin Operated. What's going on, Coin Operated? ATPSG says, I'm getting FOMO for missing out buying the dip. Should it buy here or not wait for more dip? Listen, dude, I've literally gone over the plan for buying the dip since I started the live stream an hour ago. So rewind the stream and rewatch. D'Angelo says, you have to buy when it's uncomfortable. Being first to the party is important. Indeed. Are we tired of winning? It's a good one. Let's go back. What's the YM up to? What's the Dow doing? So the Dow with a gap down as well, obviously. And it is 4% lower than the market close on Friday. NASDAQ sinking lower, actually. Tech is down 5% since Friday's close at the U.S. Futures Open at 6 p.m. So, yeah, it's shaping up to be a bloody Monday. A bloody one. And Zach Berkowitz says, do you think Say will be one of those coins that doesn't really come back from a continuation lower? Do I think Say will come back or not? I'm just seeing what's going on here in this chart. Seeing if I can, like, obviously you guys should all know where I'm looking right now. I'm just seeing if we can refine the level. Right? It's pretty obvious I'm looking down here in demand. From October 2023. Now, in terms of coins coming back and things like that, again, I went over kind of the more macro idea here, where we want a bullish reversal, and it could very well be like a dead cat type of bounce. So I wouldn't be too concerned, right, about like holding this thing for the next few years and stuff like that. I would be really wary of, you know, holding this thing through a potential prolonged type of bear market. But I do think Say will have a solid bounce and give you an opportunity to make money. If and when it does hit around 11 cents, you know, that would be a good opportunity to be a buyer of it at an extreme discount. And then whether or not it comes back to like 50 cents or something like that, I would say that that's more dependent on the overall market and the majors. Again, going back to USDT dominance and, you know, Bitcoin dominance, when they're hitting their key levels much lower, like that would be the time to get out of something like Say. But I think it will have a solid bounce. Victor says, what's up, bro? Are you buying? I've gone over the plans of many coins I plan to buy here in the stream. So if you're just tuning in, I encourage you to rewatch or rewind everything or wait until this one's done and watch the replay. And yeah, for sure, I plan on being a buyer. Haven't done it yet because my plans haven't matched up with prices hitting the levels I've been waiting for. And we're sinking lower and lower and lower. Here is Bitcoin making newer lows. Current price is 77,500. Just new low after new low. Love to see it personally, when you've been expecting it like this. And alt's getting destroyed. So total 2 coming close now to 860. And total 3 probably is going to puke to 645 billion. Ian says Caspa at 5 cents is a good level. Yes, it is, Ian. Caspa at 5 cents is what's been waiting for quite some time now. Again, similar to Bitcoin in the sense where all of this was no man's land. And, where is price likely to find a reversal to actually, have a sustained type of rally, not this instant pump, then dump, and sell off lower, right? This is what happens when a bottom is formed not from key liquidity. It doesn't last very long at all. It's very short-lived. So for CAS here, 5.2 is the start of it, but really, I do like this breaker block from 4.8 cents to 4.26 cents down here. And definitely, again, have it line up with the majors, but this is the level to be a buyer of Caspa. Yes, it is. Let's see what else is going on here. Someone says S&P 500 is criminal. The open is criminal. We don't even look at the ES. Same thing as the NQ. So big gap down and price is 5% lower. Let's see. Ben says, a tip from me. Check DeFi Llama and check projects, total value, locked fees, revenues, if it's undervalued. Example, the TVL is at 7 billion and market cap is at 400 million. You have a gem. Do what you want with that info. Ben, thank you for that tip. Ed says, how many hours S&P 500 futures will open? They opened at 1 hour and 13 minutes ago, Ed. And Derek says, what's up, brother? Nice to see you again. What do you think of Jupiter? Are you bullish on this? Would you buy it at these prices? No, I'm not bullish on Jupiter. Reason being, a lot of red flags with Jupiter in regards to, being involved in the Trump, the Melania, the Libra launches, many other meme coin scams. They were working with Kelsier Ventures. So Jupiter kind of, they were doing a lot of shady, illegal things. Insider trading when they run the exchange that all the coins are traded on. And, they had a really good run. They made a lot of money by insider trading scam meme coins, but nothing like that will last forever. And it's basically an implosion now. Same thing with Radium. So no, I would not be a buyer of these. I would focus on other assets. Trucker Steve, great to see you, man. Always great to see you in the chat. Let's not keep it political in here, guys. Trucker Steve wants to believe in Trump's plan. Let him believe in Trump's plan. Right? And let's see. Someone has to look at Bitcoin dominance. So we started the stream looking at Bitcoin dominance today. And again, we're just looking for 66%, which is awfully close. And we're looking for a nice spike up into there, and ideally just a long wick up into that level. Also, BVOL coming down into support. Another indication of, volatile times. It's like the VIX for crypto, if you will. We haven't looked at Doge though. Let's look at Doge real quick. Okay, so for Doge here, let's clean this up. Get rid of a lot of stuff. Okay, so for Doge, on the 3-day, take a guess. Where do you think I'm an interested buyer? Let's get rid of this too. Let's use some confluence with supply and demand, with Fibonacci lines, and the fact that it's also clearly labeled. It's over here near 13 cents. All right, this is the level we're waiting for on Dogecoin. And in terms of current price, that is just around 12% lower than current price, 12 to 15% lower, give or take. And that's what I'm waiting for, at least. I could see it going into the 11s, but either way, there's no limit orders on this play here. If using leverage, if buying spot, you can use limit orders. That's how at least I would go about it. But yeah. So you guys remember when we were talking about Bear Chain last week? Here it is a week later, down 50%. Pepe coming into our zone now. Everything's coming to plan right now. Baby Doge. I didn't set any plans on this recently, so I'm not going to play that. But anyways, just to summarize everything we went over today. We went over, the majors. We went over the plan here in terms of the bottom and how we can kind of have confirmation that it's forming by using multiple charts of the majors to identify confluence. We went over individual coins and the levels we're looking at. So hopefully you guys have a really good idea right now of what I'm expecting. And I think that my thought process is well thought out. And, I'm expecting this to be a good plan. But the market can be crazy. But either way, I'm going to follow along everything that I'm planning for. So we'll see what happens in a few days now, right? Will I be right? Will I be wrong? Time will tell, as it always does. But very crazy times, but it looks like the worst is now really, really close to behind us. And we should be preparing for a period of risk on here because prices and majors are hitting their higher time frame optimal key reversal levels. We're really close, and let's get it done at this point. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off. Just rip it off and do it already. Go to the prices we've been waiting for and then we can go ahead and move on. We're so close right now, and hopefully this live stream found you at a good time, and now you have a much better idea of kind of what scenarios will likely be happening here as we start this new week. If you guys enjoyed the live stream, smash up that like button. If you're new here to Crypto Empire, smash that subscribe button down below. I really appreciate all you guys being here from all over the world. A lot of people from the USA, a lot of people from all over the world. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll see all you really soon. Connor from Crypto Empire signing out. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you tomorrow.